This episode is brought to you by CarterComics.com. It's your one-stop shop for all your comic needs, whether it be graded or raw. Carter Comics has got it all. All you gotta do is go to CarterComics.com, fill your card up with all their amazing comics. Use the discount code FREAKNET, FREAKNET. Save you 10% at checkout. Not only on their website, but also at their eBay account. And the link to eBay can be found on their homepage at CarterComics.com. Again, CarterComics.com is your one-stop shop for all comic needs. What's up, everybody? I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And welcome back to another episode of This Freakin' Show. It is the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. And I pray to God that my screen holds up this time.
Yeah.
There's a portion of our last show that we tried to record, was like last Saturday, I think it was, that I don't remember what we were talking about, but I kind of want to include it in the show. Because, like, why the hell not?
Yeah.
I mean, at least I don't know what we were talking about. I think we were talking about my new glasses. I don't remember. But I just remember us talking and my screen, like, I don't know, opening to fucking heaven or whatever the hell it was doing. But it was going, like, slowly fading to white. Like, what I imagine coming out of a coma, I guess maybe going into one. I don't know. Just whiteness. It was goofy. But, Joe, I'm glad we're able to get together and get a show recorded here.
Yeah, same. What was the solution?
I had to get a new monitor. I don't know what it is, but as soon as I got off the recording with you, I gave Colin a call and I was like, "Hey man, listen, I don't know what's going on, but my screen started slowly like fading white and all this shit." And Joe and I started WebMDing our lives and everything and figuring out like what's going on. And we're thinking maybe it's this. And he's like, well, I mean, it could be. I mean, what's the what's the monitor hooked up to in the back and shit? And I was telling him it was I was showing him through camera and stuff. And it was plugged into the graphic card. So, and he's the one that built the computer for me. So his first thought was like, well, if it's a graphic card, that's definitely a problem.
Right.
So I had to unplug this, and I had to buy a new monitor for the computer because my old monitor had like the old blue cord screw in the sides kind of fucking plug, where this is like the HDMI one. So I didn't have an extra computer screen to hook up to the computer to see what the problem was. So I had to grab that TV behind me, drag that over here, plug it in and all that shit. And come to find out, like, even when I unplugged it from the monitor, it was still showing the monitor was still showing all white. And luckily, which I don't know what it says most about these monitors, but ended up going shitty within the time that I bought it that I could return it.
Nice.
So I sent the old one back and got a new one 2 days later. I think it came Monday afternoon. And knock on wood, it's been working since. So we'll see what happens. If this one happens to go 3 weeks within owning it, then I'll probably just send this one back again. And I don't know, maybe I'll go to an actual store like an old person. Back in the day when you used to go shopping for your things instead of having it delivered to the house. I may go old school that way, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it won't crap out on you, and then you won't have to worry about it.
Right. I mean, it's a nice monitor. It's probably bigger than I need. I probably should have replaced it with a smaller one, but I'm starting to like having the bigger monitor. It just doesn't fit my my desk that well because of this shelving unit thing that's on it. So, but yeah, no, everything's still working and all that shit. But what's going on with you, Joe? How you been?
Busy.
What are you friggin' drinking? What's up with that?
I got like a I don't know what it would be called. because I'm just not thinking about it. But
he's still drinking a prison hooch. Is that what it's called? Prison hooch.
Prison hooch.
Yeah. You know what they call like alcohol that's made in prison? Prison hooch.
Oh, gotcha.
Hooch?
No, it's not. It's not hooch. It's a couple eyeballed shots of whiskey, a small can of tonic water, and a squeeze of lime.
So what is that?
Probably just what would you call it? Just a whiskey tonic with a lime twist?
Yeah, because I think if it was vodka, it'd be a gimlet. Then gin would be a gin and tonic. I don't know what a whiskey tonic would be. Sounds solid.
It's a whiskey tonic. That's what it's called. Go figure.
Yeah, I'm just going with water.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out this weight loss thing. Not sure what the hell's going on with it, but
yeah,
it's whatever. I got to that point again where I feel defeated, and I'm just trying to get shit figured out again. I did a sleep test on Monday.
Oh, nice.
Because did I get a chance to talk at all with you about like the blood work and stuff I got done at all?
No, not at all.
Okay, so I talked about it a little bit with Matt when I interviewed him from Apex Nutrition a few weeks back, and when I was on vacation, I went and got blood work and stuff done because I haven't been to a doctor and a legit doctor in a number of years, and
right.
I haven't got blood work done in just as long. And I wanted to see what was going on and shit. And I did all the tests and I got the blood work and the tests for like all the normal shit, but I also wanted to check for thyroid and testosterone and shit because I wanted to figure out why no matter what I do, I can't seem to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you gotta incorporate exercise into it, and I know I'm not doing that as well as I should. But even with the calorie deficit that I find myself in constantly, like nothing's really changing, and something should. Like something really should be working, even with a calorie deficit and no exercise, there should be a drop in weight over the span of a week. And I just don't know what the hell's going on. So, I'm sitting there, I'm talking with him, and it's like I try to exercise, I try to diet, nothing works. I try to diet, nothing works. I try to exercise, nothing works. I tried doing keto, it worked before, it's not working now. I've tried paleo, I've tried Mediterranean, I tried calorie deficits, I tried fasting. Nothing's working. I fasted for 72 hours. I lost a little bit of weight. It just didn't stay off. Something's wrong, and I'm not quite sure what it is. And, he was a cool dude. He's now my primary care physician, which is something I haven't had probably since high school. And we just set up for blood tests. Like, let's go see what's going on. Because I was like, I don't believe I'm diabetic, but I wouldn't know if I was or not. Don't know. I don't know if I have high blood pressure. I don't know what my cholesterol is. I don't know what my sodium intake is. I just don't know what any of this shit is because I never look at it. I never go to a doctor and find this shit out because I'm so afraid. Ever since physical therapy and all this shit with my back and getting these outrageous medical bills out of fucking nowhere without knowing what the hell's going on, terrify me for ever going to a fucking doctor and doing shit. And I get that that's how doctors and shit work, but the way that physical therapy shit worked was a fucking joke because there's no way they should have waited until the end of the month to send me a bill. I should have been billed at the end of the week for the shit at the previous week. Right. But there's no way you don't know I'm going to be owing you fucking money. And I want you to send me a bill for nearly $2,000.
Yeah.
Saying like, hey, you owe this. It's like, okay, well, I wish I would have known because I probably would have stopped going to fucking physical therapy.
Right.
But, obviously I did this whole refi thing. I have a little extra money left over. It's like, fuck it. Let's go get this shit figured out. I need to know where I'm at. I just turned 35 years old. I need to know where my body is at, where my life is at, what I need to do.
Right.
So I go and I get the blood work done and everything, and obviously they weigh me and I'm fat. They asked me for the height, and I was like, man, could you just ask me for the weight and measure me? And they do it opposite. But they weighed myself. They know how fat I am. They checked my blood. Apparently I don't have high blood pressure. Blood pressure is fucking normal. And this is what I told the guys. Like, listen, the last time I did all this, the doctor said everything was fine.
Right.
And he was more shocked than fucking anything. And he's like, well, shocked about what? I'm like, the fact that I am sitting here, a very heavy fucking dude, vastly overweight, smoker, asthmatic, constant bronchitis, could barely fucking breathe, struggles, whatever.
Sure.
But all my blood work came back fucking normal, and he couldn't explain it to me. And the only thing this new doctor said is like, well, there is a thing out there called healthy fat.
Yep.
And I was like, just somebody who's fat that's fucking healthy. He's like, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, well, you probably could have figured out a nicer word for it. No, but I get it. Healthy fat.
But then our healthcare system couldn't maintain its fat phobia.
Yeah, and then but he said, yeah, it's weird because I get a lot of people who are obese, who are overweight, who come in and they're healthy, they're just overweight. But then I get people who come in who are in shape and they have high blood pressure, they have high cholesterol, shit like that. So I went and got the shit done. Turns out everything is fucking right within range. Everything is normal. Cholesterol, blood, everything fucking, maybe not perfect, but good. It's within the ranges of shit. And it's like almost dead middle range, not like, oh, you're like right there on the brim of anything. Everything is right within range, except for the testosterone. Which
you low?
Vastly low. I'll tell you what. Do me a favor. You got your computer right there?
Yeah.
Google search average testosterone levels for a 35-year-old male and tell me what comes up. It should give you a range.
Oh, come on. You couldn't just give me a damn chart? There it is. 12.2 to 16.5 nanomoles per liter.
I have no idea what that means. No, there's actual number. It's a T level.
I've got nanomoles per level and nanograms per deciliter.
There should be some
12.2 to 16.5 or 352 to 478. There
we go. So yeah, okay. So the I think it's called a T level or a T number or whatever hell it is. Average mid 30s is somewhere, depending on the kind of person you are, should be on the low end about 350, high end about 900.
Gotcha.
I bet 90.
Yeesh.
Right?
That could be doing it.
Yeah. So, and here's the thing, and I love the fact that this whole MedWorks thing has an app now, so where your results can be sent to you, and your doctor say, hey, this is what we have, so this is what we recommend, and shit like that, and that's all well and good. And he even said, I'm happy with everything that came back on your test results, except it does look like your testosterone level is pretty low. Which it is. It's 90. It's fucking 90. I don't know what a 90 should be for any age, but it's 2 digits. It should be 3. I'm looking at almost a fourth of what I should have minimum. That's what I have.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, awesome. So maybe if I could get that figured out, maybe that could help with the weight loss, and that could help with the fact that when I wake up in the morning, which has been getting progressively worse over the course of the last few months, that I am dog ass fucking tired to where my alarm goes off and I snooze that fucking thing until the absolute last moment before I have to get up. But it's because I'm so damn tired. And this is including after 8.5 hours of fucking sleep. It's not like I'm getting only 3 hours of sleep and be like, oh damn man, I should have went to bed earlier. No. I'm going to bed around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and my alarm's going off at 6, and I'm still physically drained. And I'm driving to work, fine. By that time, I'm kind of awake. I get to work, and I'm fine. But by the time I leave work, I'm getting a little fucking exhausted driving home.
Yeah.
And stuff. And I mean, I'm kind of fine now. When I get onto these podcast stuff, I wake up a little bit and everything. I'm kind of awake before I lay down to go to bed, and eventually I fall asleep. But I was like, maybe I'll be able to talk with him about getting. I mean, I know they got patches and they got pills and they got creams. They got anything to do to help increase testosterone level. I prefer a fucking patch because I know sometimes those testosterone creams could, put hair and shit on your palms or whatever the fuck it is. Maybe the patch would be the best thing. I don't know. But the first thing he wanted to look at, and this is what this whole med app thing, you guys should have a way for me to message my doctor. It just, the fact that doesn't exist, but he can message me, but I can't message him, doesn't make sense. Because I really want to ask him, like, cool, let's get on some testosterone shit. Well, the first thing he wants to do is look at sleep apnea.
Gotcha.
Which I'm sure I have it. I'm pretty confident I fucking have it. But he wants to set me up for a sleep test and everything. And luckily, they can do sleep tests now at home. So all you gotta do is just gotta go to the doctor and grab the machine. They show you how to put it on. You get home and it's timed out. Like, what time do you plan on going to bed? What time do you plan on waking up? So I told him, like, I plan on being in bed by 10 p.m. and I plan on waking up by 6. So they time everything. They set everything on a timer. So I have this chest monitor that checks my chest level breathing, finger monitor, a wrist monitor, and then a nasal thing to check my breathing, my inhale and exhale and shit.
How the heck are you gonna fall asleep with all that? And then they can test you.
Surprisingly, it wasn't uncomfortable. Nice. Other than the weird, because the tubes obviously have to go into the nose. So other than a weird tickle from time to time, like when I go like this, the tubes will move. So other than a weird tickle, it's not too noticeable. I mean, obviously, I took my Fitbit off and wore it on the same wrist as that to try to get that kind of normalcy. The chest thing, there was these very comfortable elastic straps, so that wasn't too bad.
Nice.
And then the finger monitor thing, it was, I mean, like, it wasn't horrible. It really wasn't. And obviously they gave me a sheet. It's like, oh, you just got to mark anytime you wake up, get out of bed, let the dog out, whatever, just time from this time to this time. And I know one time I got up to take a leak in the middle of the night. I don't know, or at least I don't recall if I woke up at any time other than that. I'm sure I did. I'm sure there were points where I did wake up. I just don't remember it because I wasn't like fully awake. But my mind is like, well, if I woke up and like I'm seeing, look at my sheet of paper. I have one fucking note on there, bathroom, like 2:30 a.m. or whatever. And I was like, I could probably go on my Fitbit app and I could probably look and say, hey, maybe this is, shows me what times I woke up and stuff like that. But then I realized obviously I took the Fitbit off. So, I dropped the thing off. I had this done last Monday, and I finally got my results today on it. It does say I have mild sleep apnea. So they're gonna get me set up with a sleep apnea machine, and I know Alan has one, and he says they're not really the same machines that they used to have back in the day with the tubes and all they're different. So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna get, but I'm gonna get that, and I still have yet to hear anything about testosterone, so I'm hoping to go with the doctor, and so I can be like, listen, I need to get the number up. Like, I need to get that fucking number up. Like, there's something I could do for that. And I don't want to do the testosterone boost supplements. I want the actual medical prescription for something that I have more confidence in it actually working. So, I'm hoping that helps. Like I said, like I'm still motivated to get healthy, but it puts me in like a weird funk now where I'm just like, clearly I'm trying, clearly it's not working, clearly what's the fucking point? But I'm still trying to stay optimistic, I'm still trying to stay hopeful, but right now it's just that bumming kind of feeling of like, I knew there was something wrong.
Yeah, but at least you have an answer to start anyway, and the thing with any hormone, whether it's testosterone or anything else, like, it's going to be helped by fixing your circadian rhythm and getting enough sleep and having it be actual good sleep and not like interrupted by your body waking you up in the middle of the night with sleep apnea.
Well, and I figured that's why that's the first thing he wanted to look at, which I'm on board with it. Yeah. But I don't see 8 hours of restful sleep increasing that testosterone level up to where I need it to be.
No, it's a first step, right? It gets you maybe it gets you from 90 to 180, and then you've got more energy to actually like do a workout plan, stick to a diet, more focus, more whatever to do the things. And then those things then, there's certain exercise that will increase your testosterone, like push-ups are great for testosterone.
Yeah.
And then like, eating right and stuff, that's going to be great for testosterone, and everything's going to boost everything else, and then hopefully, I think from the doctor's point of view is hopefully we can do it as naturally as possible without, just giving you a patch.
I think it's in a way a cheap way out, but honestly, I prefer the fucking patch. I
hear you.
I feel like I'm doing about 75% of the necessary things I need to do in order to boost my metabolism or my testosterone. I'm getting more sleep. I'm actually doing the 10 to 6s, so I'm trying to average 8 hours plus a night of sleep. My alarm does go off at 6, but there are times where I will wake up at like 5:15, 5:20. And it's like, well, I could just get up, start my day, but now I got to find something to preoccupy myself. Or I could just lay back down and hopefully get an extra 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I quit smoking. So I'm on...
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm on day 20. I want to say 24. Day 25. So I'm 25 days into not smoking. And because I know that could also affect testosterone levels. Trying to stay away from certain foods and shit. I still have cravings and stuff that I still accommodate and I still, satisfy, just not to the level that like I fucking used to. Like there are moments like where like I have such a sweet tooth, like an absolute fucking sweet tooth, that like there are days where like I'll be laying in bed at like 9:30 at night, like, you know what, I could probably sneak through McDonald's right quick and get like a baker's dozen of chocolate chip fucking cookies and a couple fucking jugs of milk and shit. But I only eat like 3 or 4 of them and call it good. But that's not fucking healthy. It's like I'm contemplating going to McDonald's in the middle of the night to grab 13 fucking chocolate chip cookies and justifying only eating like 4 of them before I'm going to bed. So it's having the mindset of not doing that shit. Yeah. I need to go shopping. I do need to do that because I am running low on foods. But I do gotta go shopping to actually get foods for lunches and stuff because, again, the mornings have been a struggle getting up, and if I don't put together a lunch the night before, I don't have time to put one in the morning. So, but it's trying to stay away from certain foods and the non-smoking thing and the rest and all that. And like I said, that's all well and good, but I don't know how testosterone works. I don't know how the number fluctuates. I just know in my mind, until I could talk to the doctor, which I wish the thing could fucking comment to him. But I mean, whenever they call me saying, "Hey, the CPAP machine's ready," maybe I talk to I say, "Hey, can you put the doctor on the phone real quick? I just want to figure this out." Like maybe at that point I can say, like, what is the better sleep going to do to the number? What is the not supposed like how much does this benefit the number? Like, is it one of the things like, hey, once I get on a CPAP machine in 90 days, I can jump up to 400? Like, just tell me, like realistically, how am I going to get from 90 to 450? Like, how long will it take to do that on just simple dieting, exercising, not smoking, and sleep? How long is that going to... Because as we get older, that's hard to fucking do.
Right.
It's hard to fucking do that shit. If I was still 20 and shit, it probably won't be that fucking hard of time. And think about it, and realistically looking at it overall and trying to, be like, that kind of makes more fucking sense on why keto worked for me in 2018 and it's not working now. And maybe that's why the relationship I always saw as a benefit for the dieting, because when you're in a relationship that, involves sexual intercourse, you do have testosterone building up. Right. You do have that working in you. So that feeling that I've been missing for the last 6 years, 5.5 years, there's not that feeling anymore. That's not with me right now. So I'm not producing testosterone that way. And obviously getting older affects testosterone numbers,
Right,
and
that's
if
gonna
you start
increase
increasing it. So maybe that's why the dieting wasn't helping as maybe it will help, but it's not helping as quick as it did in 2018 when I dropped 60 pounds in 4.5 months.
Right.
Maybe it's unrealistic to have that idea of it maybe working again, but there has to be something that he can say, like, listen, here's the thing, like, I don't need a patch that says, here's a 900 fucking, like, you put this thing on, you're jumping to 1200 by the end of the fucking night. I just need something to tweak the fucking number a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know how this works in order to even justify if that's even a logical fucking answer. It's like how long do you have to wear a patch before the number changes, or how quickly? Like, is it an instant feeling? Like, is it like somebody snorting coke, or somebody shooting heroin, or somebody I don't know. I mean,
right. Well, I imagine it's a slow ramp on to whatever they want you to have, and then probably keep you at a certain amount for a certain amount of time, and then see if your body can produce it on its own once you reach a certain level. And yeah.
Well, and that's and I know he wanted to follow up with me in December, but I can't wait till fucking December. I do need to figure out the dieting thing. I want to start doing more crock pot shit. I wish food wasn't as expensive as it is, because I love to go and buy chicken. Yep. Because I find a lot of crock pot meals that I can make with chicken that I could portion out into meals throughout the fucking week and stuff. And I mean, I got a lot of ground beef. Don't get me wrong, I love fucking tacos and burgers, and I can do that stuff. But you need a variety. Yeah. And I could easily make meatloafs and burgers and tacos and all that shit. But I fucking love chicken, and chicken's a little bit more healthy, especially for what I want to do. And I can easily make like a high protein, low carb kind of like chicken pasta with zoodles.
Yeah.
And I could do that stuff in the crock pot, and it's easy and convenient to make. The buffalo chicken I can make, and it's just I just wish the prices weren't as fucking expensive.
But, yeah, they are nuts.
Yeah. See, your wife's got the right idea, man. Fucking just go vegan.
Yeah, just eat veggies.
Dude,
veggies are expensive too now.
Yeah. You guys ever get your veggies and stuff from Josh and their farm?
No. Maybe every once in a while, if we see him at the right time of year, we'll get like a couple. But yeah, for the most part, no. I've tried to look at their we are outside their their CSA area that they deliver to.
Yeah, I know they go to. I want to say some kind of farmers market up by.
Yeah, it's like the Logan Square or something like that.
Yeah. It's what's it called? Fox and the Fork or something like that.
Yeah, Fox at the Fork Farm.
Fox at the Fork Farm, yeah. And I know they go to some farmers markets, and it's just like the stuff they sell. It's fancy, To me, it sounds fancy, It's like, oh look, they got like legit kale, like actual like. It's not in a plastic bag that's sold next to the iceberg and shit. It's like legit fucking kale and Brussels sprouts and what the fuck is that that stuff it just looks like grass. What the hell's that shit called? It literally looks like grass. It's
no idea.
What the people put in like smoothies and shit. It literally looks like a little planter full of tall fucking grass.
Oh man, and it's not just like lemongrass, is it?
No, I want to say it's not. What the fuck? It's not wheat germ. What the fuck is that shit? It literally looks like grass.
I have no idea.
God, I know I'm gonna figure it out as soon as we're done with this show, but
yeah.
But they have like the actual stuff that you should be eating, and fucking and eggplants. And I don't know if I've ever had an eggplant in a while, but. Fucking an eggplant parm sounds fantastic right about now.
I haven't had eggplant parm in forever.
I don't think I've ever have. I really don't. I don't recall if I ever did. But
yeah, I gotta be honest, chicken parm is better.
Well, yes.
But that's just because I like chicken better than I like eggplants.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'd rather have a chicken Alfredo with actual noodles over zoodles any fucking day. Like, they're not bad, but it's not the fucking same, you know?
For sure.
The only thing that I think I like if somebody was to tell me, it's like, you have to eat, I can't remember what type of patty it was, but it was a veggie patty. It was whichever vegetarian beef patty, but it's like it's plant-based, whatever it is that Denny's started originally selling.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty good. When I went to Denny's one time, I said, let me try this. Like what I think I had a crush on. Remember Sherry's friend Rachel, the hippie?
Yeah.
It's fine. I think she's a doctor now, so if she's like, oh damn, I feel the same way, then I think I'll be set. I think there was one time I had a slight crush on her. I think it was the pre-dreadlocks. I think the dreadlocks quite kind of cured me of that.
Sure.
I was like, let me try one of these vegetarian patties. Like, let me see what it's about, because it's like it interests me, and it was good. I remember one time going to the Will County Fair and I asked for a portobello burger, and in my mind I thought it was like a mushroom Swiss burger. No, it was just a portobello cap inside a bun. And I was eating that fucking thing like it was a burger. I was like, God, this is fucking delicious. It's like, oh, it's nothing but a fucking mushroom.
Nice.
Like, I
love a good portobello mushroom.
Right? I could substitute beef like that for the imitation stuff. I don't know if I could ever do tofu. I've never tried tofu. I think maybe, when we talk about all these ranking videos that we never do, we should do one for plant-based foods. And see who has the best one. Yeah, we should who has the best one out there. I mean, I think the only fast food places that I can think of that have those types of things, like it's the Impossible Whopper still a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and then White Castle I think has one. I know McDonald's doesn't, and I don't believe Wendy's does, but at least I know those two places does. But I mean, we could look at getting some vegetarian themed ranking shit. We could look at it.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
I know for me personally, I generally like stuff that's not pretending to be something else, I mean, I think like the Beyond Burgers and Impossible Burgers and stuff, like those are great because they're supposed to be what they are, right?
Yeah.
But like instead of a black bean burger, for me personally, just give me black beans. I like black beans. Yeah. I've had some good black bean burgers. I'm not complaining about those, but I've had some bad ones too, though.
I want to say it was black bean that was not. It couldn't have been. I don't know. I don't know what the burger at Denny's was made of, but like I said, it was pretty fucking good. Black bean, I think, would be good if it was some kind of like Mexican style.
Oh yeah,
kind of thing. Like
that's
probably
that. Get like a Chipotle, a black bean Chipotle burger or something from. I don't know. That's what Aldi has. We do keep a box of them in the freezer just in case.
Well, I mean, I guess Chipotle you get like a vegetarian style.
That's true.
Yeah.
Then they do have good. Their sofritas are good, and they're just like if you just got the fajita bowl, it's great.
I forgot that they actually have a plant-based option. I was just thinking of just again a bowl without meat, but they do. They do have a plant-based option. This is a video that we should find out that if Lady Science wants to be a part of, because if anyone's gonna know, she's gonna know because if I try it, I have no idea what it's supposed to taste like not a clue. So if we were to do it with her, at least she could say because she has more of the experience in the vegetarian or the vegan style foods. I mean, for at least for me, I'm gonna go in as what doesn't taste like shit. That's what it's like. It's like, what doesn't taste like I'm eating something out of the ground. But with her, she'd be like, this is what it's supposed to taste like. This is what it isn't supposed to taste like. For me, I'm like, if this is what it tastes like, this is dog shit. Or if this is what's supposed to taste like, not that fucking bad. So we should find out if she wants to do that with us. I think that'd be fun. Or even if you guys just did it, send me the video. Either way, go on a date night on the on Carter Comics Dime.
Might be worth it.
I think it will be, and it gets us content, and it'll be like Portillo's all over again. It'll just feed you for a few days. But we talked a lot about me, but what's going on with you, Joe?
Yeah, it's busy, man. We got we're finally moving on a lot of this church stuff, and it's not gonna. The thing I have to keep reminding myself is like it's not going to produce instant results.
Yeah.
But I've had a couple of people out to give us quotes on a new sign. We are looking at different designs for in the long term, I want to get rid of all our pews because they're not real pews. They're those theater seats that are awful.
Yeah.
Even if they were real pews, I would like to get down to as few of them as possible.
Yeah.
Because what I would really like to be able to do is like that place where Jake got married.
I wasn't there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I was pretty drunk. I couldn't remember who was there and who wasn't.
I know it was during the day, and I know they had like a brunchish kind of meal, but I wasn't.
But it was the way that they've had that church, the Sanctuary on Penn in Indianapolis. Yeah. The whole thing is emptied out. It's almost like they've converted the church into an auditorium.
Okay.
And so, like, the way that they had it set up, there were a bunch of couches and stuff, and set around they're like a bunch of different seating areas that you could sit in. But like, we stood for their ceremony because it was super short, and then it was just dance time, right?
Yeah.
So what I would like to do is clear it out and be able to have like banquet seats, or you've been to contemporary a lot of contemporary churches. Yes. A lot of contemporary churches have those chairs that like lock together or whatever, and they're just
the padded chairs. Yeah,
just the padded chairs. Yeah. Doesn't have to be exactly those, but like something like that we could just take out the 20 or 30 or maybe up to 50 of them we need on a given Sunday.
Yes.
And then put them away. It'd be nice to be able to do that. And then now the sanctuary can be used for, what do you want to use it for? You want to have a dance? You want to have a party? You want to, we're working with a couple of different music schools that are looking for space to rent, where they can like practice music together as a group and then perform. So we could have, if someone was running a yoga studio or a dance studio or something, we'd be able to offer the space. Is what I'm trying to say.
It's kind of like taking the church and I forget what was that portion of it called?
The sanctuary.
The sanctuary, and almost converting it into like a community area, like a community center kind of, which I think is an awesome fucking idea. Because the whole thing is like, and again, this is my perception of Chicago, even though you guys aren't technically Chicago, but the city and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It gives a safe place for kids to go. It gives for the youth of the area to go, instead of, having to be outside. Not that, kids should be outside and doing shit, but it gives them alternative to, and if it opens up like additional programs for them to go to, whether it be either after school or in the evenings to do things like you mentioned, yoga or stuff like that, I think that's a cool fucking idea.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, and I know you love the organ. I know that. I know you like the idea of that. Is there a rule or is there a regulation that says you can't go to contemporary style of music at your church? Like, do you have to do the organ hymns? Okay.
It's just it's expensive.
Gotcha.
The way that music rules work, anything that we use that's contemporary is copyrighted by the musicians who are currently performing it.
Okay.
And so we'd have to, even if we didn't stream it, even if I didn't record it, there's actual laws where like you're not even allowed to have a copy of it on your computer. Like the lyric. You can't even have a copy of the lyrics on your computer without breaking the copyright law, unless you're paying for the licensing to do that. Which I'm just like, to me, that's a whole issue with like the Christian music industry. I'm just like, what is wrong with you people? The faith would not exist if copyright existed back in the time of Paul.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't begrudge people getting paid. They should be paid for their work, but it is insane to me that you need to make enough that we can't even have your lyrics on our hard drive.
Who gets paid for the money that
I actually don't even think it's the musicians. I think it's probably the record companies.
Is it? Who makes money for Bible sales? Where does that money go?
Yeah, so that would go to the publishing houses, whoever's publishing it.
How fucking insane is that? Like you have to pay for the word of God. You know, it's nuts.
And like I'm happy. It's not even that I'm unhappy to pay, but like, you know, we're a small church, and it's so the CCLI license is like, you know, just to have and perform the music without any streaming or recording, is like $200 or $300 a year. And then if you want to stream or record it, it's another $300 or $400. And that's at the lowest rate. That's for us with 15 people or less.
See, and that's something I think what they should do. And I don't know how everything of it works, but I mean, so when you are playing, when you're doing your hymns, everyone gets a hymn book. You know, turn the page, blah blah blah. Which also follow up. How do you decide which song you want to sing?
I have a lot of ways of deciding it. My go-to is, so we're using a particular, it's called a lectionary, which is like the schedule of readings for the year.
Gotcha.
The people who put the lectionary together will often have suggestions for what hymns to sing with the readings. Okay. Gotcha. So that's my first one. If they don't have that, then what I'll do is at the back of the hymnal, there is actually like a hymns for the church year. And so, like, depending on where we are in the year, it has I just happen to have my hymnal here. Nice. But it has, like, a list of 3 or 4 songs.
Oh, okay.
Depending on where you are. And so I might pick it off of there. Or what I might do is there's also, like, scripture references. There's a whole section. And so, like, if I wanted to do, you know, if I was reading John 14 or whatever, I might use hymn 140, whatever that is.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so so I go through and I look and I check them and make sure, like, do we know this one? Do we not know this one? How hard is it if I don't think we know it? Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So.
And then every once in a while, I will say every once in a while, if I have like a guest performer or I get a chance to talk to my musician beforehand, I might ask them like, hey, do you have a favorite hymn? Cool, I'm including it.
Awesome. So with these hymn books, obviously, if they need to be replaced, they have to be purchased, they have to be ordered and shit like that. You have to purchase the sheet music to have it and stuff like that. Yeah. Would it just be easier if whoever's selling the fucking contemporary music say, hey, listen, I want to purchase a packet. I want to purchase an instrumental disc, and I want the music sheets. Yep. Sell me that for $1,000 fucking dollars, and in it has 220 fucking songs or whatever the hell it is, because I'm assuming they replay some songs over the years. So even say like it has 160 contemporary songs, and it gives you the music sheets and the lyrics and the instrumental, like all that stuff, so you can learn it, you can play it, or whatever you want to do with it. There it is. And then that should be it. There shouldn't be a monthly cost. There shouldn't be, because the thing is too, is like it's not like you're recording, and not just you. The church that I attend, that if I can't, I can watch it live on Facebook and shit. Yeah. They're not selling the Sunday mass, they're not selling the service following the live stream.
Right. I'm not making money off of it. Exactly. Even if I had enough people, I wouldn't be making money off of it.
Yeah, it's insane. It's stupid that that's the thing. But I'm not saying you have to go to that. I was just really curious if there was rules set.
That's really
churches.
The only reason is that like I haven't been able to. We'd have to find somebody who could play a guitar. Well, we don't have to. There's actually they have streamlined the process to where you can just buy the backing tracks and sing along, which is kind of nice. I mean, there are options that they have that work, but yeah, we don't have a guitarist / worship leader to do that. Mm-hmm. And even if we had that, we'd still have to pay, it's yearly, but we'd have to pay yearly to access the licensing.
Gotcha. I think to remove those, which they weren't bad seats, but I also don't like them. I don't like wooden fold down connected bleacher seating and stuff. So I think if you did remove it and you did get the regular chairs and stuff like that, I think that's a fantastic idea. And like I said, the idea to open it up to more of a community center type of way, I think is awesome, because not only are you going to get people in from the community, but maybe people who've never been to that church who come in and see them, maybe they do show up on Sunday. It's like, hey, it's like, oh, well, it's right down the road. This is kind of a cool place. They're doing a lot of cool things for the community. Maybe it's some place that I would want to go on Sunday.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I think that's a really cool idea, and I hope they pursue that with you.
Yeah, thanks. So we're starting with phase 1 is going to be we're easing them into it, and so we're going to take out the back set of pews that we don't use anymore. Mm-hmm. So like everything behind the aisle, like when you walk in through the main door, there's the aisle is shaped like a cross. Everything above the top of the cross we're going to rip out. And if there's if there's repairs that need to be made, we're going to just swap the parts we take out into what needs to be fixed. And then we found somebody who will take them, and he does like furniture restoration, and he'll sell them and he'll make money on them, and we'll just be like happy we helped somebody out, I guess. But that's okay. I don't need to be paid on them to get rid of them.
They're taking them out. So
exactly.
They're saving
us the cost of disposal.
Yeah.
Or sitting on them to put on Facebook or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we're going to take out, I think there's 5 rows back there, and then we're going to do 2 rows in front of that to try and open up a huge amount of space in the back and maybe put some sitting areas. And the goal would be to, in the short term, offer, so it's more space we can rent out. So like I said, we're talking to a couple music schools who are looking at that space. And also what I'd like to do is we have a preschool that starts at 9:30. So from like 7:00 to 9:00 every weekday morning, stop by and have a cup of coffee on your way to work. Suggest a donation of $1.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then maybe an evening version of the same thing when other groups aren't using the space. Yeah. And maybe it's not every day. Maybe it's only once a week or twice a week or something like that. But like the idea is to give people a reason to be there and not really spend money. I think that's one of the things that's really missing in our society is places to go where it doesn't cost you to exist.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome idea. And the thing is too, it's in an unintentional way, it gets you more eyes from the community.
Right. Well, and it looks unintentional, right? But I've been thinking about this for like 4 years.
Yeah,
it's super intentional on my part.
We're gonna sell it off as unintentional. It's like, hey, I didn't imagine that this was gonna.
It's just a nice byproduct of this.
Right? Yeah. It's like, oh, what? 50 more people want to come in? Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, that's my goal, right? Like I had to. That's some good news that's happened. I think since the last time we recorded, is they're hiring me full time finally.
Oh, awesome. I know. So, last time we talked, I know that was kind of up in the air.
Yeah. So it's a thing now, and we in order to do that, I had to present them with like a 3-year plan and like, what's your goal? And so my goal is I want 50 people in my seats.
Yeah.
I actually came up with like a statement, but I can't remember what it is. But I want 50 people, and I want each of them to, on average, be giving $50 a week, because that would cover our budget.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not trying to it's not about money, but I'm trying to figure out like what is the least amount that someone in that community could pay comfortably to be a member of the church. Yeah. And I've got families who give, $200 or $300 a week, which is awesome. I'm not going to, but if we could get other people to give more, then they could give less if they felt like it was a burden. Right.
Yeah.
But that's the idea is you kind of average it out. And then I also would love those 50 people to most of them are retired right now, but most of my people are retired. But let's say, those 50 people are working 40 hours a week as they're employed, right? Mm-hmm. It'd be cool if I could get them to donate 10% of their time. So like 4 hours a week of volunteer work into the community. So even if it's as simple as like you go on a walk half an hour a day and you pick up trash during your walk, That adds up to about 3.5 hours just during the work week.
Yeah.
And so the idea would be, now you can say we've got this super generous group of people who they give enough that it covers our budget at a relatively small. The average church size now is about 65 people.
Yeah.
Nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
So we're smaller than average at 50 people, but we pay our budget and it's not burdensome. And we donate 200 hours of time a week collectively, right? Which means that over the course of the year, we can say, like maybe I'm filling out grant funding, right? I can write on my grant, we give back to the community 10,000 hours of volunteer time a year.
So that's cool. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's just like the way I'm thinking about it, right? And so it's just, and the idea would be, so maybe we have a budget of 200,000. We do have a budget of 200,000. That's what it costs us to exist.
Yeah. Annually.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
And about half of it comes from and goes back to the preschool. So it doesn't really count. Like we don't need 200,000, but 200,000 is the number to work off of, right? Because like, how cool would it be to offer a free private preschool as an alternative to the free public preschool?
Especially when you get people like Sherry, who has to decide between a full-time job and putting a kid in preschool or just staying at home because it's the same deal. It's like having a conversation with Ashley. It's like I want to put my kid in preschool or in daycare, but it costs expensive. It costs $350, $400 a week just for that on a cheap end. On the
we are so
cheap end.
And I'm not trying to say we should charge more, but we are so undercharging. That's about what we charge a month, and we're in the city.
Yeah, you're I thought you were talking about universally undercharging. No, yeah, you are. But the thing is, like, the fact that that's how it is. That's what sucks about it, because it's like people want to go to work to make money to survive, but all of a sudden now you gotta be a stay-at-home mom because I can go to work and make $48,000 a year, or I could put my kid in daycare and it's gonna cost me $52,000 a year. So now it's gonna take not even my entire check, because that's $48,000 before taxes. Now it's gonna take that plus whatever my husband or my wife makes and have to throw it in there as well. And that's the part that sucks, is like, you have to not work in order to take care of your child, even though you want to work. And I know that people would love to have their days with their children, but even Sherry, who, in my mind, was the kind of person who never wanted to work. Yeah, like I never seen her as the kind of person who wants to have a fucking job. But she even told me she can't wait for our niece to go to school and kindergarten and shit, so she can go get a job, because she gets stir crazy at home, and. Yeah, I've always had this ambition, like, if I ever meet somebody, if I ever have a wife, if I ever have a family, I want us to be a dual income household. I want us both making money, because it just makes life easier having more income coming in. Yep. But the idea of
if we weren't dual income, we couldn't have afforded our taxes this year.
Right, and that's what's insane about it. And that's the thing, is like, because I would love for you guys to have a kid. I know that's in your fucking future. But the cost of it is ridiculous for daycare, because it's like, then what the fuck do you do? And I think it's admirable what you guys charge for daycare and preschool and stuff. And for anyone who's listening to this, fucking put your kid in there. Fucking do it.
Please. Yeah, message us. I'll get you connected. But
what's your preschool and stuff though? Like, what's the ages? Is it 3 and 4 or what?
It's I think we just lowered the lower threshold. I think it's 2.5 to 5.
2.5 to 5? That's awesome.
Maybe even 2 to 5. Mostly our goal is, like, if you're potty trained, you're old enough.
Okay.
So, because our teachers are qualified to change diapers, but all their kids are grown. They don't want to change diapers anymore if they don't have to. Yeah, but
I think realistically, like, it takes up a lot of time when you have to focus on changing the diaper of one while other kids are running around.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I think that's cool. Dude, I think the idea is, first of all, again, congratulations on being full time. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Long overdue, I believe, because you've been there like almost 4 or 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
I'm about halfway through my 5th year, or 6th year actually.
Yeah. So long overdue. I think what you're doing is great. Again, like, because we talked about this. I don't know. I don't remember I think it was during Indiana. I think it was our Indiana vlog. Like we were talking about your church and ideas and stuff like that, and the luau idea. And so I think doing shit like that, it's awesome because it's not just the church; it's the community, you know, and it's the community that makes the churches worth it. So I think
absolutely.
I think all that stuff is awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to just be a building that's cool. I want like people in it.
Yeah, there's no reason that it should only be open on Sundays, you know?
Right.
Especially like I said, if you could rent out that space and you can even put together, because I mean, like I get those things in the mail where it's like Piatone Park District, summer events and shit, and you look at it and there's like jazzercise and yoga and daycares and blah blah blah, like all these events. Like you could put that together and call it Saginash summer children or adults events and stuff, and you could do like couples nights where you're almost like a high school dance for adults who want to get out and do shit.
Absolutely. Well, we got a nice kitchen. We could cater it. You know, there's all sorts of things that we could do, but right now we're restricted by this space that is taken up by pews that are bolted to the floor.
And
we're getting there. So we're gonna do it kind of section by section. I'm really happy that we're at a point where we're talking about seriously the first section that we're gonna get rid of.
I'm not sure how stern the people are in your church, or at least the board, or whatever you call it. But if you get this all figured out by fall, you could probably do like a community Halloween party. I don't know if they find that inappropriate for church or not, but to do like a because you got that small little I don't know what you call it. I'm assuming where you do the after service like coffee and stuff.
Yeah. I call it the coffee room.
Yeah,
the
if you could turn that into like a small little haunted walkway kind of thing where kids can go through and just do it for the kids. I think
like a haunted church is an awesome
Halloween
idea. I've been afraid to try it just because we put up Halloween decorations one year and I got hate mail.
Yeah, see, I think it's one
which
thing.
Is fine, right? Like if I gotten enough hate mail, I would have put it in the newspaper, and then that would have generated
people
some
notice.
But
that's the thing. People fucking notice.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if you hate it so much, come to church and talk to me about it.
Right. Well, that's the thing about these people who send me hate mail is they're courageous enough to put something in the mail, but they are cowards because they don't put their names on it.
Right.
Have the guts to stand by the courage of your convictions. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not even going to yell at you. I just want to know what possessed you to do this.
Right. Everyone's opinion's valued to an extent. Just fucking show up and say it's like here's the thing, like there's a difference between worshiping the devil and celebrating Halloween.
Right. Well, and that's what a lot of people don't know, that Halloween is a Christian holiday. It means All Hallows Eve. It's the night before All Saints Day, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. Joe, other than that, again, congratulations. I don't want to cut you off. I know you got Geekcast Live to do here. But what are you freaking thinking about?
Oh man, I gotta pick. A lot. It's been there's been like so much this month. I'm gonna go with there is a great show on Netflix called Delicious in Dungeon.
Okay.
And it is the weirdest show I've ever watched. So I'm not gonna tell you it's not weird. It's animated. It's based off of a manga. It's an anime, and it's about there's like a village. And at the edge of the village is a dungeon, like a Dungeons and Dragons dungeon. And it's about an adventuring party traveling through this dungeon, and they don't have enough money for food. So every monster they kill, they make a dish out of it for nutrients, for sustenance, so they can go deeper and deeper in the dungeon as cheaply as possible. And it's just absurd. It is a weird show, very charming. And I watched the first episode and was like, what the hell is this? What is this? And I watched the second episode and I was like, I don't know if I want to watch a third. And then it became the thing that Lady Science and I did on Thursday nights for a while, because a new episode would come out every Thursday night. Awesome. And we finally finished the first season, and then we're just waiting on the second season. But it's great. It's really good. Dungeon Meshi is what a lot of people call it, because that's like the English pronunciation of the Japanese name.
Yeah.
But the author's such a big D&D fan that she was hoping that people would abbreviate Delicious in Dungeon to D&D. And everyone was like, no, that's stupid. We're going to call it Dungeon Meshi.
Well, I just got Netflix myself, so I finally subscribed and got my own account for it. So I'll have to check that out.
So they're only like 20 minutes, so it's not a big commitment to try it.
I don't know what it was, but like because I know because Raw is coming. Raw is going to Netflix in January. We talked about that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, and it's goofy because they had this whole press conference recently about how it's going to be unedited and it's not going to be PG restricted anymore. So I'm kind of curious on what they're going to do. I don't think it's going to be what everyone else thinks it is, where it's going to be, F-bombs and tits all over the place. I just think they're not going to censor the fans chanting holy shit anymore.
Right.
But I'm kind of curious on what it is. But I was like, I might as well get it because there's shit on Netflix I want to watch that I haven't seen in a while. And it's stupid of me because I started watching Suits, Orange is the New Black, Royal Pains, Seinfeld, all at the same time. So now I'm just like, crap, now I got too much. So once I get through all that, I'll look at the Dungeon Meshi. The one thing I'm freaking thinking about, and we're actually going to cover this Saturday when we get together, is currently right now the first presidential debates are going on.
So I'm hearing nothing but bad things about them.
I'm curious on how it's going. I have a recording, so I'm going to watch. I'll probably watch a little bit of it, but again, I'm going to try to go to bed early and maintain that. But I know one of the new things that they're doing this year or this time around is they're muting the mic of the person not being asked a question. So
nice. That's necessary.
I just want to hear two grown ass fucking men trying to yell at each other, trying to be heard while the other one.
Yeah, I would just, if I had 90 minutes to do that, I would just go watch Grumpy Old Men.
Right. Oh,
I think I'd have a better time.
One or two though.
Either of them would be probably better than this debate.
Right. So I'm curious about that, but I think we'll probably recap some of it on Saturday. Just because, we're getting into it. We're getting into that season. But we also got to start talking about the Olympics because the Olympics is coming next month. And that was the one thing I wanted to talk about last week because the qualifyings are going now. But the Olympics is starting up in a couple weeks here, so we're going to start running through that. And, so
nice.
A lot of important shit coming around. So, Joe. Yeah. Every week our listeners catch Cartoon Joe here at this freaking show. But, sometimes it's just not enough Cartoon Joes. So if our listeners need to get more Cartoon Joe, where can they go?
If you need more Cartoon Joe, you can find me over the Geekcast Live podcast at violentpress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Excellent. Guys, make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, just by searching This Freaking Show. And, of course, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcast at, just by searching This Freaking Show. Or if you choose to watch our episodes, you can do so at FreakNet Studios on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell there for when our shows come out. And also make sure you subscribe and rate us on any audio platform to listen to us to. I'm hoping, we've been trying maybe in the next week or so, we get GCR over here. I know he mentioned over on Geekcast Live, he wants to come here, talk about DDP yoga and celebrities in wrestling. So I'm all on board with doing that. We just got to figure out a time and place to do that. But
yeah, guys, it's challenging.
It is. I mean, he lives his life. He's
baseball,
an hour ahead of us.
softball season. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we'll definitely get figured out because it'll be nice to kind of talk to him again.
Absolutely.
That's all I got, guys. As always, I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for listening to another episode of This Freaking Show. I'm out.